The last time we saw Barry Allen, he decided to sign with Iowa State, where he went on to have another phenomenal season. Barry Allen and his super speed was just too much for the Big 12, as he had ran all over the conference and continued to establish himself as one of the best players in all of college football. He went on to earn himself his second straight Heisman Trophy, but this time it was on his way to bringing his team to the national championship, where against USC, Barry had completely taken over, and Iowa State, for the first time in their program history, would become national champions. Barry Allen was quickly becoming one of the greatest players of all time, and he thought he had finally done enough to save his mom after leading his team to the top of the college football world, until Reverse Flash decided that college football was too easy, especially playing in the Big 12, where that conference was trash ever since Texas and Oklahoma left. And if he wanted any chance of finally saving his mom, he would have to win a Super Bowl. Which brings us to today, where because Barry Allen is a true sophomore, he has one more year of eligibility. But at this point, Barry just wants to move on from college so he can save his mom. So Barry decided that the best thing he can do is just run into the future. And oh wow, man, as soon as Barry arrived, he found out that he actually transferred to Oregon, where he had another great season and led them to a national championship. Oh yeah, Barry has no idea what would have made him do that, but that's crazy. He went on to rush for over 1,400 yards and finished his career as the career record holder in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Barry Allen had officially become the greatest football player of all time. But as awesome as this was, man, he was ready to move on and finally take his talents to the NFL. And now that Barry Allen is officially heading to the league, he is coming in as one of the most accomplished players ever. Somehow he's still only starting out as a 70 overall, but on the bright side, a lot of people are comparing him to guys like Bijan Robinson. Now Barry had to get himself an agent to help him throughout his NFL career, and it turns out he would find a girl who kinda looks like Iris West, but a little less annoying. But at this point, man, Barry is ready to head into the NFL Combine, where in the 40-yard dash, he ended up running one of the fastest times in NFL history. He didn't break a record or anything, but people definitely knew that he had some speed. He came out here and had an excellent day at the Combine, but for some reason he was only considered to be a mid-first round pick. But it was all good though, because Barry was just looking forward to getting drafted at all, and luckily for him, it turns out that the place that he would go might be the best situation available. Because midway through the first round, Barry Allen would get a call from the Kansas City Chiefs. They are gonna bring the Flash back to Missouri, as they feel like he is the missing piece to help the Red Kingdom continue their dynasty. And now that Barry Allen is officially a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, he's ready to get to practice with his new quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who is definitely grateful to have a guy like Barry Allen as a safety valve out of the backfield. Soon though, it is time for Barry to head into his first NFL action in the preseason, where he will get his first opportunity to show what he can do as the Chiefs head on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. Now unfortunately, early on things were not going as well for Barry as he'd hoped. He wasn't even able to gain any positive yards, and the offense was just overall not looking good. He would get a couple more chances to make something happen, but it turns out today was just not his day. So it was definitely a little bit of an underwhelming debut for Barry Allen, but he was reassuring his coaches that he's going to do a better job at focusing on the details. And eventually Barry would get a chance to show that he was improving as he was heading into his next game against the Seattle Seahawks. Now in this one, Barry was playing a lot like how he did when he was in college. He was out here breaking off some big runs and helping his team move the sticks all throughout the first half, ultimately leading them inside the red zone, where he caught the ball on a screen and he got some blocks downfield before heading to the end zone for his first touchdown of his NFL career. Barry knew this was only just the beginning though, so he wouldn't be done there. He came out here at the end of the first half and got a catch that helped his team get into scoring range with less than 20 seconds left, setting up a chance for Mahomes to throw a dime to the end zone to Marquise Brown. The Chiefs come up with a touchdown as they go on to win this game. And Barry Allen is feeling a lot better after a week where he went for over 100 total yards and a touchdown. He truly did feel like he was in an excellent situation, as he could not only play football with the Chiefs, but he was right back at home in Central City as the Flash. But at this point, Barry is looking forward to heading into his final game of the preseason, where he will get one more chance to solidify himself as the starter against the Chicago Bears. Now this is the second game straight where Barry is starting this game off well. He came out here with a catch on third down that helped his team move the sticks, and on the very next play, he took a handoff that moved the Chiefs past the 50. Early on against the Bears here, man, Barry Allen is looking good, but he's about to look even better after saying, hey, breaking this dude's ankles, and now Barry Allen is outrunning this Bears defense to the end zone for a touchdown. Barry Allen had been playing incredible over the past 2 games, and he was going to continue to make the most of his opportunities as this first quarter came to a close. Because with a couple seconds left, he was taking a handoff to the outside, where he had a wide open lane to the end zone. Barry Allen was getting in for his second touchdown of the day, and he had already done enough to put this game away. The Chiefs closed the preseason out with a win as Barry Allen went on to have an incredible performance, putting up over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in just one quarter. So he was feeling pretty good about his place on the depth chart until he found out that he was not going to be the starter. This was definitely some unfortunate news to Barry, but he was ready to work hard and eventually earn that spot. But despite the fact that Barry wasn't going to be starting, it didn't mean that he wasn't going to play, as he would officially make his NFL debut right here in Week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, this game was actually played in a different country where Barry Allen was getting a warm welcome as the 3-time Walter Camp Award winner. Unfortunately, he wouldn't get much of an opportunity to do anything at all in this one, as he only got a couple drives where he didn't even get the ball. And unfortunately, the Chiefs would go on to lose this game. Barry Allen quite literally did not go for a single carry. But the Chiefs knew that was something that they might have to change heading into their next game, because they would be facing off against the team that they had seen multiple times in the Super Bowl, as they're matching up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Barry did not start this one off too great as he actually had -4 rushing yards, but here in the second quarter, Andy Reid decided to give him another carry. And after taking this one to the outside, he was able to break off some tackles, and Barry Allen was out of there. He was heading down the sideline for his first touchdown of his NFL career. Barry had come up with the score on his only drive of this game, and it turned out to be enough as he helped the Chiefs get their first win of the season. The Chiefs are starting to get things going as their rookie running back was improving, and it was pretty easy for him to do so when he had people like Caitlin and Cisco in his inner circle. And the way Barry had been working hard, the coaches were really beginning to notice, and he would eventually get his shot to start. But for now, Barry just had to stay ready as he could come in at any time, because in his next game he is brought out to help the Chiefs finish their opening drive against the New York Giants. Now, usually at this point in the game, the New York Giants might have around 20 points already. But with their star quarterback Clark Kent having to take a year off and their star receiver being injured, Barry Allen was looking forward to taking advantage of the opportunity as he would zoom into the second level and finesse his way around this defense for a touchdown. Barry Allen was coming up with his second score of his career to put the Chiefs up by 14. And apparently that's all Andy Reid needed from him as he was sat the entire rest of the game. But the Chiefs did go on to win. Things are looking great for Barry at this point, man. His team is sitting at 2-1 on the season. He is out here saving people as the Flash damn near every single day. And you know what? Barry didn't even see it coming, but it turns out that he and Caitlin are dating now. Hey man, he moved on pretty quick from Iris, but I honestly can't really say I blame him. Hopefully he can move just as quick as he is heading into the next week, where he is being brought in the game in the second quarter at home against the Ravens. Now, this Baltimore defense was definitely causing problems early in the running game for Barry. It wouldn't be till they send him out on a screen pass, where Barry was taking advantage of some great blocks, and he was maneuvering his way around this defense and down the sideline. Barry Allen was heading to the end zone for another touchdown on his season, ultimately helping the Chiefs go up by 3 possessions before he would be taken out of the game, but luckily the Chiefs come up with another W on the year. This turned out to be a performance where Barry didn't even have a single rushing yard, but had that 90-yard touchdown. And he's not really understanding why he's not playing more, considering that he has 99 speed. But all Barry can do is just hope that he gets the chance to start soon, and maybe he can show the coaches that he deserves to heading into his next game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, one thing about Barry is that he has always been great at running to the outside. But with this Chiefs offensive line, he is often able to make a play on the inside as he is sprung loose into the second level. All of a sudden, he just has Travis Hunter to beat, and although he is fast, Barry Allen is way faster. And he's able to come up with another touchdown on his season. Barry Allen continues to make the most of his opportunities as he is immediately taken out the game, but he helps his team move to 4-1 on the year. And at this point, with the Chiefs being one of the best teams in the NFL, Barry's feeling good about his chances to make it to a championship. He's just hoping his team could keep up this momentum heading into the next game against the Detroit Lions. Now, the coach decided to put Barry in for one drive, and he was already making a play, but Travis Kelce would damn near tackle him to the ground. Hey man, that's an L teammate right there. But you know what, it was all good because they actually decided to pitch the ball out to Barry on a 3rd down and 1. And he was not only able to get to the outside, but he broke off a tackle, and he had one guy coming his way before snatching his ankles, and all of a sudden Barry Allen was heading to the end zone. The Flash had gotten the Chiefs the lead here in the second quarter, and the Flash felt like that might be enough to help them come up with the win. But unfortunately they don't. The Chiefs go on to lose their second game of the season and move on to 4-2 on the year. And Barry couldn't help but feel like if he got more opportunities, then he probably would have helped win the game. But all he can do is just keep waiting as the Chiefs are heading into their next one, with Kansas City facing off against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Chiefs are actually down in this game with this offense struggling, but it turned out to be Barry Allen who was helping them get things going. And it wasn't even just as a playmaker, because he was out here making some great blocks and helped his teammate Rashee Rice make a play who let Barry Allen have his old number. Now, unfortunately, this drive would end with Mahomes' pass being tipped and intercepted. Luckily, though, it turns out Andy Reid wanted to see more from Barry Allen, so he kept him in on the next drive, and he would definitely be rewarded. Barry Allen came up with a huge catch that brought his team into field goal range. But as they moved a little bit closer, they started to set their eyes on the end zone, and on second down and goal, Barry Allen would get them in. He comes up with a touchdown that helps Kansas City take the lead, and after he comes out, the Chiefs would completely take over, going up multiple possessions in this one and ultimately coming out as the winner. The Chiefs are able to take down a division rival, and it looks like they're back on track to win the division until it turns out that the starting running back would go down. Barry Allen was really going to have to step up, so he decided to work real hard heading into his next game, as he would eventually be brought out here in the second quarter with the Chiefs matched up against the Washington Commanders. We start this game at a 3rd down and 6 where the Chiefs run a screen to Barry, and out of nowhere he is already making his way down the sideline. On his first reception of the day, Barry Allen is heading for a touchdown. He's given the Chiefs the lead here already in the second quarter, and it seems like he's helped his team gain a lot of momentum as they actually cause a turnover, as the Chiefs get the ball back and give Barry Allen another chance to make a play, and he decided that he's not going to do that no more. A few plays later, Mahomes would cross over the goal line for another touchdown, and despite the fact that by the fourth quarter the Chiefs are actually losing this game, they didn't seem to be too worried after handing the ball off to Barry on the outside, and after a great block from Noah Gray, Barry Allen was heading to the end zone for his second touchdown of the day. The Chiefs are regaining the lead here in the fourth quarter, and they would maintain it as we continue on here in this game. The Chiefs would find themselves on a 3rd down and 5, backed up on their own 5-yard line. But after getting the ball out to Barry Allen in open space, he would not only pick up the first down, but it looked like he was actually going to be in a foot race before deciding to say, "Excuse me." And Barry Allen was out of there. The Flash was zooming towards the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the day. He absolutely fried this Commanders defense and ultimately helped his team come up with the victory. The Chiefs get the job done at home thanks to an amazing performance from their rookie running back. Barry Allen went for over 250 total yards and 3 touchdowns. Just an immaculate performance that Reverse Flash was watching very closely. He wanted to remind Barry that it wasn't about winning personal awards anymore. He had to win the Super Bowl. But in a year where Barry is still not even the starter but is still winning Offensive Player of the Week, he is beginning to grow a lot of confidence that the Chiefs might be able to get the job done. So Barry's looking to stay locked in and take advantage of every opportunity he gets, continuing in his next game against the Buffalo Bills. Now, unfortunately, in this one, the Bills were doing a lot better at containing Barry Allen than the Chiefs' previous opponents. Barry was just not able to get anything going, and matter of fact, he actually had negative rushing yards at one point, bringing us to a 3rd down and 15 where he decided to say, "Hey," and almost came up with the first down. But Coach Reid decided to punt it anyway, and Barry was taken out for the rest of the game as the Bills would go on to demolish the Chiefs. The Chiefs would get absolutely fried in what was probably one of the worst performances of Barry Allen's football career. On the bright side though, Barry was going to get a chance to redeem himself heading into another game on the road against the Denver Broncos. Now on his very first carry, the Flash was already having a better day than he had the previous week, coming up with a play that brought his team into field goal range before they would eventually get to a 3rd down. For although Mahomes completes the pass, they are not able to convert, and I guess that's enough for Barry as he comes out the game and the Chiefs would again get destroyed. The Chiefs are looking bad over the past couple weeks, man, and Barry feels like there's really nothing he can even do about it. Luckily for him though, it seemed like that was finally about to change, as Andy Reid brought him into the office and let him know that he was now officially gonna be the full-time starter. And the entire NFL world was hyped as they caught wind of Barry finally becoming RB1 in Kansas City. It was now time for Barry Allen to shine. He was heading into a home game as his first game as the starter, and he was really hoping the Chiefs were able to get back on track as they were set to face off against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, it did not take long for Barry to show why he should have been the starter the entire season, because in the first quarter he was absolutely frying up this Colts defense, ultimately bringing the Chiefs down to the goal line where he got across for a touchdown. But little did people know that Barry was only just getting started, because on the very next drive, he was looking to make another big play. Because after taking his hand out to the outside, he would find an open lane, and now all he had to do was just say, "Hey!" And Barry Allen was heading back to the end zone. The Chiefs were going up 2 touchdowns in this game, and Barry Allen almost couldn't even believe that he was doing this in his first start. But nah, he was absolutely locked in this one, especially as he got to the fourth quarter, because he got his 3rd touchdown of the game. And would you believe that he still wasn't even done yet? Because he would get to a 3rd down and 2 where he got to the outside, and with the help of Rashee Rice making a block, he would break off a tackle and dive towards the end zone for a touchdown. Barry Allen was completely taken over. And now the entire league knew that the Chiefs had added another speedster to the roster, because the Chiefs would go on to cruise by the Colts 28-7 thanks to an outstanding performance from Barry Allen, going for almost 200 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. The kid had a miraculous performance, and with the Chiefs sitting at 7-4 on the season, he felt pretty good about that continuing into the year. The Chiefs did not have too crazy of a schedule, especially with their next team having an owner who has the highest level of dementia and is one of the most sorriest and trash-ass franchises in the history of the league, the Dallas Cowboys. Now somehow the Cowboys' garbage-ass defense was able to hold KC to 0 points throughout the first half, at least until Barry came up with the catch for a touchdown. And it turns out that's all the Chiefs would really need, since the Cowboys had a pretty terrible offense too. And in the second half, all Mahomes had to do was just find Xavier Worthy on a crossing route for a touchdown, putting the Chiefs up by a score in this game and already doing enough to give them the win. The Cowboys are terrible even in video games, and I kind of regret being a fan of them. But that's a story for a different day, as it turns out that Patrick Mahomes wants to talk to Barry. He just wanted to ask Barry if he is ready to step up. He thinks that Barry could become one of the best players in the league, and he wants him to do everything he can to get there. Because in a season where Barry doesn't have nearly as many rushing attempts as other players, he is still on pace to rush for over 1,000 yards on the season. This organization feels extremely confident in Barry Allen, and they're hoping that he can keep helping them come up with some wins, especially in their next game against the Houston Texans. Now this was a rough game for pretty much everybody on the Chiefs except for Barry Allen. He was the only one who was able to make plays on either side of the ball throughout this game, and by the end of the third quarter he had finally gotten around the edge and got his team upfield for a touchdown. He was trying to do everything he can to help his team get back in this game, as they would soon find themselves down by 2 possessions. And with the help of Barry Allen, it actually seemed like they had a lot of life. They got themselves all the way down to the goal line, where they had a chance to cut this lead down to 1 score, but Mahomes threw a pick. And although Barry was able to catch up and track this guy down, it was already too little too late, as the Chiefs would go on to take their 5th loss of the season. Things are not looking good for Kansas City, as they are currently sitting at 8-5, and Reverse Flash is letting Barry know that if they don't even make the playoffs this year, then he might as well forget about his mom, because she could be spending the rest of eternity up there with Biggie and Tupac. Now luckily the Chiefs are still holding on to the 4th seed, but Kansas City knows that it could be ripped away from them, especially heading into their next game, because they will be facing off against the 2nd place team in the division, and a loss here could potentially put them out the playoffs against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now Barry came into this game knowing exactly what was at stake, so as soon as he got the opportunity to, he was zoomed by this defense, and halfway through the second quarter, Barry Allen was heading towards the end zone. Barry was on his way to the end zone that was helping Kansas City take the lead before Los Angeles would tie it back up at 7. But here in the third quarter, with Barry already feeling good, he felt like there was really going to be no stopping him. He took a handoff before heading to the outside and cutting upfield, and it looked like he was heading right back towards the end zone. Barry Allen was coming up with his 2nd score of the day, and he's only rushed the ball 5 times. He had his team in excellent position, but unfortunately the Chargers would end up taking the lead. And now with less than a minute left, this Chiefs offense needed to make something happen. But fortunately they have Patrick Mahomes, who was finding Noah Gray up the middle for a huge gain that brought the team into field goal range, and it would be just a couple plays later where Mahomes would zip this ball out to Xavier Worthy, who came up with a touchdown in the final moments of this game. The Chiefs take the lead with less than 20 seconds left and are able to escape this game with a victory. They hold on to the division lead at the moment, and they feel like they're right back on schedule. They had weapons all over this offense, especially including their rookie superstar running back, who heading into the next week against the Titans was looking to continue to dominate his opponents. It took a while for this offense to get going, but thanks to Barry Allen, they were crossing over the goal line before half, coming up with a 7-0 lead that, believe it or not, already turned out to be enough to win this game, as they close this one out 10-0. The Chiefs are coming up with their 10th win of the season, and it's looking like they're about a win or 2 away from definitely making the playoffs. And they can definitely thank Barry Allen for helping them get in this position, but Barry knew that although it wasn't really about stats, he felt good to be a key contributor. So after getting a little bit of motivation from his offensive coordinator, who kinda looked like he worked at McDonald's, well, Barry was ready to head into his final couple games of the regular season. He had a chance to solidify the Chiefs' spot in the playoffs with just a couple more wins, so he was looking to help the Chiefs get another one at home against the Denver Broncos. Now, one play that the Chiefs ran all season that just continued to work was a screen pass to Barry, as he just had an innate ability to make a play in open space, eventually getting downfield before saying, "Hey," breaking off Patrick Surtain's ankles and bringing his team to the end zone. The Chiefs take the lead here in the third quarter thanks to an incredible play by Barry Allen, and it looks like they would maintain control of this one until the Broncos would take the lead back. bringing us to less than 20 seconds left in this game, where Mahomes had got the ball out to Barry, and he's able to come up with the catch before diving across the goal line for a touchdown. The Kansas City Chiefs take the lead here in the final seconds of this game, and thanks to Barry Allen, they are moving to 11-5 on the year. The Chiefs close this one out 10-14, and they know they couldn't have got it done without their rookie Barry Allen, who once again put on an incredible performance, and it was largely because of him that the Chiefs would clinch their division. They had already secured home field advantage in the playoffs, so Andy Reid decided to sit the starters in the next game as they ended up coming out with another dub against the Raiders, and ultimately they would finish the year as the 3rd seed. But this is where the real football begins in Kansas City, and Andy Reid wanted to make sure that his rookie running back was completely locked in, because soon it would be time for him to head into his first ever playoff game. Kansas City hasn't had the greatest regular season, but you know what? They've been in this position before. And with the help of Barry Allen, they might have a chance to potentially continue their dynasty against the New England Patriots. Now, this game got started out pretty well for Kansas City, as although they were down by 7, Barry Allen was making some plays early. He helped his team pick up a first down, and soon after he was looking for a touchdown as he was swerving out this defense before running right by, and he was moving the Chiefs across the goal line for a touchdown. Barry Allen was just too fast for New England, but little did they know that he was only just getting started, because in the second quarter, Barry was continuing to make some plays. He had absolutely obliterated Christian Gonzalez's ankles as he was making his way down the sideline for his second score of the day. The Chiefs were moving ahead by a touchdown, and Barry Allen couldn't believe that he was doing this in his first ever playoff game. Crazy enough though, it turns out that he wasn't even done before half, because on just his 3rd carry, he was taking this ball to the outside and getting himself into open space where absolutely nobody could catch him. Barry was taking this one downfield and across the goal line for his 3rd score of the half. He was lighting up this Patriots defense, and it didn't seem like there was much they could do about it. So at this point, they were not too surprised when Barry would take another handoff, and he was just zooming up the middle past this defense again. Barry Allen was gone, and along with him was the Patriots' chances to move on to the second round, as the Chiefs would come up with a 28-14 victory. They take down the Patriots in their first playoff game of the year thanks to an astounding performance from Barry Allen. The Flash went for over 300 total yards, his best game of his career so far, and he was telling the media that he has absolutely no doubt that the offense has what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. He knew that the way the offense had played all year, that there was really going to be nobody who could stop him, especially if they keep playing like this heading into another game at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now in this game, Barry actually felt a little bit different compared to his last one. For some reason, the Steelers just had a different kind of energy, and Barry was having a hard time getting things going. The offense had to move downfield without him, and eventually they did. Patrick Mahomes led the team down to the goal line, where on 1st and goal, Barry would cross over for a touchdown. He tied this game up at 7, and just like that, Barry had a lot of his confidence back, and he was ready to lock in heading into the second half. He took a handoff here in the 3rd quarter before bursting to the outside, and now Barry Allen found himself in a foot race with the safety before he decided to juke him out of his shoes and break off a tackle before getting in the end zone for a touchdown. Barry Allen was back to making big plays when the Chiefs needed it most. He felt like he had to keep things going, especially with the Chiefs maintaining their lead. And at this point, Barry knew that he might have a chance to put this game away. So after taking another handoff to the outside, Barry would get himself around the edge, and there was nobody who was going to catch him. The only person there was Peyton Willis, who was actually pretty fast, but he wasn't fast enough for Barry. The Flash crosses over into the end zone for another touchdown, making a huge play that would ultimately be enough to bring the Chiefs back to the AFC Championship. The Chiefs get the job done against Pittsburgh 21-18, and once again they are very thankful of Barry Allen. But even though Barry had played great, he was wondering why things were so tough for him in the beginning, and eventually he would get his answer as Reverse Flash would find him. And oh damn, it seemed like he had some words for Barry. You think you're so smart, don't you? You still haven't realized that it was me, Barry. I had taken over for multiple players throughout your career just to smack you in the face. I am the reason why you lost to Ohio State your freshman year and didn't get a chance to go to the national championship. I am the reason why you were a mid-first rounder even though you should have been the #1 pick in the draft. I am the reason why your coach didn't start you throughout the majority of the year. I am the reason why your mom is dead and your dad is in jail. And I am also the reason why your girlfriend is dead because she was fucking annoying in the worst part of the show. But you know what, Barry? If you can win the Super Bowl, I'll leave you alone. Oh no, man. Barry Allen could not believe this. He feels so stupid that he didn't see this sooner. He should have known that it was Reverse Flash trying to sabotage him the entire time. But you know what, man, it's all good, because at this point, Barry knows that all he has to do is just come out here and finish the season off with the Super Bowl. But in order to do that, he's going to have to head into the AFC Championship and take down the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this was not a game where Barry was starting off well, as he was taking a 7-yard loss. And this offense was struggling as they were eventually pushed to a 3rd down and 19. And it was actually at this moment that Barry Allen felt the speed force taken over, because he came out here and found a way to get open across the middle before coming up with the catch, and Barry Allen was out of there. The Flash was heading to the end zone for a touchdown to take the lead for the Chiefs, and Barry was hoping that this would set the tone for the team, because by the second quarter they found themselves backed up against their own 4-yard line, but a handoff to Barry on the outside was getting him into open space. Barry Allen was zooming his way to the end zone for another touchdown, giving the Chiefs the multiple possession lead here in the first half, and it would only grow larger as they got to the second. Because here in the third quarter, Barry only has 3 rushing attempts, but his fourth looked like it was going to the crib. He had a bunch of open space ahead of him before. Oh my. Now see, Barry didn't have to do all that, but he still gets into the end zone. This is crazy. Barry Allen is having one of the best performances in NFL history. He already has over 230 yards by the fourth quarter, and he is continuing to add on. Barry Allen was running all over this Ravens defense as they are up 30 points in the fourth. And it wouldn't be long after that the Chiefs get the ball back and give it right back to Barry, who was somehow able to break off a tackle, and oh, no way. Barry Allen was heading to the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the night, putting up historical numbers in the AFC Championship game as he has officially led his team to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs just eviscerate the Ravens 38-7. One of the most dominant victories in Chiefs history thanks to an incredible performance from Barry Allen. He averaged, 30.8 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns? On top of that, he had 85 receiving yards, almost going for 400 total yards on the day. He was so proud to have helped his team get this far, and he had really deserved it as he went on to earn himself Offensive Player of the Year. Barry wasn't even the starter throughout the majority of this season, and he still found a way to win the award. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Barry Allen's looking like he's on his way to becoming one of the greatest running backs of all time. But more importantly, he would now finally have an opportunity to save his mom, as the Chiefs were heading into the Super Bowl against a team that can only make it this far through a video game. And yes, you guessed it right, they will be facing off against Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it took a little while for the Chiefs to get things going as they were trying to pass a lot throughout the first quarter, but as soon as they started getting the ball to the Flash, he was making some plays. And just like that, man, Barry Allen was smiling because he knew that it was time for him to lock in. Because by the end of the second quarter, he was taking his handoff and he was zooming past this Cowboys defense. Barry Allen was coming up with a touchdown, and he was showing love to his favorite superhero, Superman, who was coming back next season. Now, one thing Barry definitely appreciates about this team that he had never had before is the fact that Patrick Mahomes might be one of, if not the best quarterback of all time. He never had a quarterback who was able to run the offense the way he does, as he helped the team get 3 points before half, helping the Chiefs take the 10-7 lead over the Cowboys, which they would definitely need with the Dallas defense stepping up. But the question is, how long could they step up for? Because when you were playing against a guy like Barry Allen, there was always a good chance that he could be out of there. Barry Allen was already behind this Dallas defense, and he was on his way to the end zone for a score. The Chiefs are going up by 2 possessions here in the second half, and at this point they have all the momentum on their side. Because by the fourth quarter they would be up 20-7, and although this Dallas defense was playing better, their offense was not. Because eventually this clock would just continue to tick down, and just like that, the Kansas City Chiefs were once again Super Bowl champions. Kansas City is able to get the job done, and Barry Allen is elated that he is finally a champion. He helped the Chiefs get another Super Bowl in a year where he not only won Offensive Rookie of the Year, but Offensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl MVP. He was a dominant player throughout the season as he went on to rush for over 1,100 yards and receive for over 600, easily establishing himself as the greatest rookie player in NFL history, and he was extremely happy with the way things were going in Kansas City. But it was time for him to meet up with Reverse Flash to finally put an end to all of this. Unfortunately though, Reverse Flash lets him know that he ain't doing nothing, and that there isn't a damn thing that Barry can do about it either. So you know what, man, Barry was so angry that he decided to take matters into his own hands and go back in time to save his mom himself. He was trying to fight Reverse Flash and everything, man, it was crazy. But all of a sudden he was put in his childhood bedroom before deciding to peek out the door where there was another version of him telling him to stop. Oh nah, see, something's going on that Barry just doesn't understand. So he decided that he's gonna run back to the future to try and figure it out. But oh my, what? Barry Allen is now a part of the Raiders? Oh, no, something definitely wrong here. It turns out that Caitlin's not even his girlfriend no more. It's actually Supergirl. Yeah, now there's definitely something wrong here, man. Barry has to figure this out. But the only person he knows to talk to about it is his friend Bruce Wayne. But he has to find out where he is first, man. Now this is crazy, And if you want to find out what happens next with Barry Allen, be sure to get this video to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel down below. Also be sure to comment down below who else you guys want to see next, and YouTube thinks you'll like one of these other stories until the next one comes out. If you got to this point in the video, just know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys next time.